Greetings. There we go. How's it going, guys? Good morning. This is April 25th, the day after the LCK finals, or I guess the same day of, just hours after the LCK finals. This is going to be a VOD review for him. I don't know the result. I have not seen anything besides the first few picks and bans because I needed to get the scene set up. So I'm guilty there. But I think this is a really good exercise for me to go through, as I think it really helps me, like, as a coach and like understanding as a student of the game, understand it, and it forces me to present things to you that I see and or may not see on the fly. So my goal is to go through all the games. I will probably have these chill beats going on in the background just so I don't get I won't get DMCA'd for these. So I do want to make a VOD of this. I should be good to go with these. But yeah, let's dive into it. Before we dive into game one, I do want to dive into kind of team stats. So looking at both GenG and T1, and kind of comparing them side by side as teams. So let me grab my scene real quick. There we go. All right, so T1. These are their spring stats. I didn't want to look at the playoff stats just in case that had spoilers. But T1 was probably, they were a top 3 team in the league. GenG, T1, and DRX were hands down the 3 best teams in the league. With T1 and GenG playing significantly slower. So you can see they had a almost 70% win rate. Average game time at 34-11. Average game time for GenG 33-30. Most banned by T1. Took out Set a lot because they had priority on Ornn. I think a really notable thing for this series is they ban out Zoe. Faker obviously can play Zoe. He can play anything, but they're going to take... I think BDD doesn't get Zoe in this series, as BDD is the best Zoe player in the LCK, one of the best Zoe players in the world. They also like to ban it out. It's one of the picks that is really good into both Azir and LeBlanc. Those are 2 of Faker's most played champions. And we also see them taking away some really aggressive early game junglers, like junglers that can just break top lane, because Kana is their weakest link, and I don't think the T1 wants the game to get broken through there. He is the weakest link, but he also has gotten a lot better at playing weak side. It's one of the highlights of the playoffs so far for T1. Also banned a lot of Senna, could still see that. Banned against T1. Effort is a good Nautilus player. Set, I think Set was banned by everyone. I think that's going to be high on everyone's list. Rek'Sai is an interesting one. I think that's because they hold jungle quite a bit. And I'm also really interested in that because Cuz is a good Rek'Sai player, but he's mostly known for his Gragas. His Gragas is phenomenal. And then Aphelios from Teddy. And of course, Faker's LeBlanc is terrifying. Going into some of these stats, I think it's going to be pretty similar to GenG. Going into GenG, I talked about the Zoe for BDD. Also the Set band, LeBlanc band away from BDD a lot, and then some AD carries, because Ruler is what this team was built around. They built the team around Ruler. Interesting though to see that Aphelios was banned so much by GenG. I'm not sure if that's just that they had more red side games when Aphelios was really busted, or if they prefer MF. They were one of the first teams to start breaking out Kalista Terek, which I expect to be a contested duo in the series. We'll have to see how that one plays out, but once again, fantastic stats going in. Yeah, but very like there's nothing here that's like very notable to T1 in terms of comparison, so I kind of like to go through champion pool. Let's match these up. All right, let's go through GenG's champion pool first. So, important to note, Ruler, really high damage share. Same with Teddy. I mean, what a treat to have the top 3 ADs, or top 3 teams have Ruler, Teddy, and Deft in the LCK, who are Hands down the 3 best AD carries in the league. 3 world-class AD carries that I'd throw on any team, and they would perform. That said, they are in the LCK on these teams, so we're going to get to see them perform here. I think the really specific note that I see for GenG is Ezreal Yuumi. Really high priority on that. A lot of Yuumi picks coming in for life, as that is the most played. We also do see the Bard, which has been cropping up in priority. Bard, I actually think Bard is really strong. He has a really good early game. He infinitely scales with the meeps and the chimes. His auto attacks actually provide so much CC and some notable damage too as well. I picked up a random quadra kill on Bard solo queue, which is really funny. And then he has insane. The magical journey is insane. His heals can get you through lane, and you get to max your heals second now. And also his ultimate can be, you can be so creative with his ultimate. So I really like Bard, and I'm glad that he's cropping up a little bit. Important to note, no Thresh play from Life. That's a champion that you'd usually expect the support to play. Life hasn't played a single game of Thresh. I'm sure it might have been banned away from him at some point. I'm sure that a player of this caliber can play Thresh, but that's just kind of, important. The first thing that popped out to me. Another thing is the lack of Nautilus play. GenG seems to be a savant and think that Nautilus isn't very good, whereas Nautilus is hands down the best champion for effort, sitting at a 75% win rate for him. We also see Karma, Leona, Morgana. Effort's more on the engage role, whereas Life is more of the peeling role, as you can see here. Which makes sense, right? GenG is built around Ruler, and he's not the one. He's the one helping out Ruler, whereas Clit and Rascal are kind of the Bash brothers getting things going. Effort's actually the one that's primarily getting things going, with Kana and Cuz kind of switching up the secondary engage, even Faker a little bit. Most played AD carry for both is going to be MF, so MF's also going to be highly contested. We have quite a bit of Ezreal coming in from Ruler. I'd say it's a much higher priority on Ezreal than others. And a small champion pool for Ruler, right? We have Teddy with the Cassiopeia games. I know the Lethality of Ours is something that's going to crop up in this series too, because it's really, really strong. So we're going to have to see if either of these AD carries decide to grab it. I think it lines a little bit more up with Teddy and is more flexibility at the role, whereas Ruler is your extremely old. He's like the LCK Uzi, right? You put resources into him, you give him that scaling AD carry, he's going to make things happen later. Yeah, mid lane, BDD against Faker. High Azir priority, makes sense. Azir is kind of the bread and butter AD carry, or mid laner right now in the LCK. But also we see a lot of Zoe play coming out from BDD, and it is the most banned champion against GenG. If Zoe's up, BDD will pick it. I don't think they're going to give him Zoe in this series. I think he's way too good at it. T1 could definitely pull out, like a Cassid encounter. I'd love to see Faker's LeBlanc into BDD Zoe. I think that'd be really fun to watch. Two of the best mid laners in the world on their best champions. Also interesting to see BDD pick up the Galio and the Pantheon. I think those are two picks, kind of shows what BDD is like as a mid laner, trying to roam, trying to make plays. Whereas Faker, if he wants to do that, he's opting to go for the Rumble, and we do have quite a bit of Akali play coming in from him. Also in the playoffs, he's put a few games on Akali. He's been very, very good at it. Something else that T1 has done quite a bit is flex the Lucian between Rascal and BDD, and we don't see any Lucian coming in from either of the, or T1 and Kana, and we don't see any Lucian coming in from BDD and Rascal. So that's something else that T1 kind of opts for. They'll play the Jace matchup out that way. Is there any Jace game? No Jace games either. We'll see BDD on the Zillion, which I like. 100% win rate, 26 KDA. That's what happens when you win games on the Zillion. And then also, just notably, BDD was a Talia one trick. Sometimes he does opt in for that. In terms of Faker's champion pool, it's Faker, man. He can play anything and everything to, like, much you know the Faker's gonna show up on these champions. Also, it makes me happy to see the Orianna in here still. I think Tristana was earlier in the season. Obviously, the Ornn flex. Ornn is a big pick for T1. And while we're talking about solo laners, I'll just go up to the top lane. As we do see the Ornn set priority for both of these top laners coming on up in big. Those are the two strongest top laners in throughout, I'd say, you know, season 10 so far. I think it's fair to say Ornn set's kind of been pretty meta defining up there. We also see the Renekton for both players, GP for both players. Rascals picked Aurelia. Same with Kana. Kana played Aurelia in their series against DRX and kind of got crapped on. I really don't want to see that. I'd prefer to see him on Jace, which I think he's good at. Also important to note that Kana was one of the first players to actually start playing Sylas into Ornn, and that is a matchup that I fully expect Rascal to be able to play as well. Kana is a good Sylas player. The interesting thing, we have very low Aatrox priorities for both these teams, which compared to other regions like LCS is not something that you'd expect. So yeah, little Aatrox. Let's see, a lot of Akali actually coming out from Rascal. Akali might be a pretty contested pick as all 4 solo laners can play it, but Faker's liked it quite a bit, and Rascal has as well. Let's say nothing else. Going over to the jungle. A lot of Jarvan Rek'Sai coming on out. We don't have any Olaf coming in from Clid, whereas Olaf is higher priority for Cuz. Obviously, his Gragas is incredibly... It's so well known. It's so good. He's really, really, really good at Gragas. But Cuz is pretty much... He's been on Gragas Trundle duty of late. That's been a matchup, like a handshake matchup, quite a bit. I expect Graves to come in as a counter to Trundle. We have some less Trundle games on GenG, but they haven't played as much recently, where Trundle is really starting to crop up in priority. You can play Rek'Sai into the Trundle as well. You can play Jarvan into it as well, but it's not as good. Obviously, Clid flashing as Lee Sin here as well, whereas we have no Lee Sin games coming in for Cuz. So, could be a pick that goes over to Clid in the series. Anyway, hopping into pick ban. I'm going to edit the title, and we're going to get started with game 1. League is dead. Go review the Valorant finals ball. What's up, Chachi? And yeah, Valorant's really fun. I've been playing a little bit of it. Okay, I'm going to leave these stats up just to reference, just in case. Game 1. Alright, this is the earliest VOD I can find, so we're already kind of into pick ban here. Actually, I'll leave it like this. You can see. Why'd they lose bans? Why did T1 lose bans? What?
Or it can be
Alright.
one-hit.
Fuck, I have to listen.
Yep, it's not decided. We're talking about the...
Oh, why the hell did they lose bans? Okay. Anyway, that said, really interesting strategy coming out here from GenG. They actually banned away Cuz's 3 top junglers and forced them to first pick Graves. And they got a Phelios Ornn, which is responded with by Sylas and Varus. So, very clear they're looking for that mid-game spike. I expect this to be the lethality Varus. As, once again, I don't know why T1 lost bans. We have a bunch of mid laners being taken away here, with the Luang being taken away from Faker, so it's being taken away from BDD. Surprised that Misfortune wasn't picked by either team. What the? I'm gonna try and find a different VOD. god, that's an old one. Yikes. Okay, I don't get to see the order that these were picked. I'm going to assume that they grabbed... I'm not even going to fucking assume. God bless. Okay. Okay, scaling advantage. Who has scaling advantage? Alright, so... Corki over Zir. Graves over Rek'Sai, even though Rek'Sai does bring more CC. Ornn, obviously, and Ornn buffs up the entire team, so we'll give him like 2 checks. So the goal of this is really you want to get Varus, the lethality Varus. Well, Varus is going. If he goes TP, that probably means that he's not going lethality. Let's see what he ends up picking. All right. Okay, he is going to lethality Varus. All right, so now we can start thinking about this. Is both teams spread level 1? Why is BDD going Comet Azir? Effort taking Guardian's interesting, actually. I kind of like that. Okay, I think when T1 have to win this game before Rascal hits level 14. But that said, I mean, the good thing for T1 is, like, with the Corki Varus, they get to poke out these guys so heavily, like the 2 carries. Like, Ruler and BDD may never to, like, be really able to ever get fully involved in a fight if they're able to poke him out. The really weird part for T1 is going to be the fact that their engage is a Thresh Hook or whatever Kana can steal. So they're going to have a tough time forcing fights. They're going to have to peel. I do like T1's team comp a lot. I feel like if T1 groups around level 9, they get free reign over any objective. And that carries on until like level 14, where Rascal gets his buffed items, and then he gets to start buffing up the rest of his team. And by that time, Ruler should be 2 items past. Because once Ruler hits 2 items, he's going to be real strong. But I'm kind of counting on T1 to... Alright, anything revolutionary to go down here? Okay. So both teams are starting bot side, but we have T1 actually... Wait, they walked up on a ward. Okay. Quid didn't base and grab Sleeper, so Quid still... Or, Cuz didn't base and grab Sleeper, so Cuz is still hanging on to his trinket, whereas Quid did. And really interesting here. We actually have him forcing him off blue, so slightly delaying him. Forcing him to go Wolves, which is a small win for T1. It's going to slow down the Rek'Sai, which is good. Cuz obviously looking to power farm this matchup. As Graves does, doing a really nice job cutting out that first camp. Same with BDD. And he's actually going straight up to his red. So He is going to get spotted here by this pink ward that T1 invested in. This drops insanely early. Who bought that? I think Cuz must have bought that. He's actually going to go up and fight him. So he has level 2 in red buff. This is really smart. Or my bad. It's a red team pink. Jeez, I gotta have some more tea before I get up in the morning. Oh, this is a really nice counter jungle from Cuz. Oh my god. He's gonna get BDD's flash. He doesn't have E. He's dead. Wow. Okay, that's an awesome path from Cuz. That was really cool. That was really cool. Okay, well, Azir doesn't have flash or TP, so Faker just won that lane. Azir had to go get boots, which doesn't really do anything besides help him dodge out on P-bombs. This is insane from Cuz. Holy Christ, man. Only thing that could have went a little bit better is if they donated over the Faker, but level 2 first blood, you're not going to complain with anything about that. Cuz even manages to go back, get his blue. Clit is up a camp and can find Cuz here. Rek'Sai with the red's really strong. Clit's going to take a peeksy. Not going to find anything. And Faker goes Cole, which I like a lot. You know, considering that he's up for free in this matchup, taking Cole, it's actually a really strong lane item. Gives you 3 health per hit. It's really good. Negatives to that gank going down is we do have Clid getting double scuttle, so it puts him a little bit further ahead as a jungler, but Cuz still has first blood money. And yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think he'll trade that out for just like straight up a winning mid lane. Okay, we have Teddy forcing his TP back. Life already had the burn cleanse. We missed that in the bot lane. Besides that, it's been pretty casual. Good for Teddy though, right? Because he gets to really pressure this lane now, and because of how much pressure he's putting out on this lane because of that TP, he should be able to match his next base with rulers, and that way, like he's ahead in the lane, right? Because he's coming back right now ahead in isolate or ahead in itemization. And so when he's gonna have a shove, just being Varus, like poke Varus into this lane too. It's guaranteed they have the shove pretty much. Kana's got a flash. Oh, he's dead. Alright, Kana went for the Krug's ward, which is appropriate when you're shoved up, but he was caught out by another ward from Rascal. BDD was able to rotate. So, nice play from BDD. He's the one who kind of made that one happen. But yeah, so Varus, so he based, he got his 3 corrupting potions back, has 2 long swords. He's going to have full shove over this wave. He's so far ahead that you can't even gank him, especially given the thresh. And so, now, like, he can do this again. So, Ruler, like, he has to clear out that wave, and he has to base at some point. Because Teddy is getting such clean bases, yeah, he's just able to rush itemization and get ahead, and he's still staying even in XP. Maybe just dropping a creep or 2. So this is really smart coming in from the Varus, because Varus does spike so early, just given the early lethality items and no armor, and given how much base damage his piercing arrow does at level 9. So this is really smart for him in order to stay ahead. That said, Ruler was able to get the BF base, so that's really the only thing you can do in this lane to try and contest it. And that was another reason why you saw Teddy burning that early TP to try and mess with, like, if he gets in the base where he doesn't buy a BF. So yeah, they have shove in that way, but Ruler's getting CS, so that's really good. Rascal's Horn. Besides that, so we have... Okay, BDD is going Nash's Rush, thank God. I still don't know why he didn't go Lethal Tempo in this matchup. Maybe it's because all the range he's dealing with. That actually could be it. He's kind of scared that he could stay in range to do damage with the Lethal Tempo. That would be a reasonable explanation, actually. You can see here, this lane, they're going to probably find a plate or two. Corki is almost going to find a plate in the mid lane. Lane phase is going really well for T1, and they definitely have to get ahead in order for their comp to function. So, Faker and BDD trading flashes in the mid lane. Nice play coming in there from both mid. Mostly Faker, just dodging out of that gank. Kana trading heavily. Really good for Kana. This is the part of the matchup where he wins. He gets his proto belt. Effort off the recall coming in and clearing out some pinks for Faker. That's going to really help relieve pressure on him. Okay. I wouldn't have taken Rek'Sai ult. Like, after the Ornn, like, what damage are you going to dodge out on from Ornn after the horn goes through, you know? This is interesting. So Effort's up here because, once again, Yuumi can't roam, right? So Effort's taking advantage of this. And they're just going to have the mana advantage and brute force this. Because they know that Rascal has to base or else his lane is kind of effed. So they just take Rift. Wow, okay. That was manly. They also got the Infernal Drake off of bot lane pressure. Yeah, and I mean, Kana doesn't have flash. Like, I guess, like, there's really nothing he can do, but, like, he's probably, like, he'd have to really play that freakishly well in order to get out, but he's probably dead. Okay, so Effort's making some nice roams. We have the Vision, the lethality item coming out from Varus. They can clear out wards. It's going to feel really good for them as they go to set up future objectives. We almost have the Mana Mune coming in from Faker, so it's going to speed up his stacking of the tier, which is always nice for Corki. It's a little tough to stack on Corki before he hits 6. And he also grabbed the Ruby Crystal from the Phage in order to just have that as ruler. Man, Nimbus Cloak actually nerfed Thresh so hard, having the move speed after the flash. It's really tough to land hooks after, like a flash flay, and then they respond with flash. It's really tough to land the hook after that if you don't have 6. So you can still see all the damage that Teddy's laying down. And Teddy is getting to the really strong point of the game where he should just be able to... Another plate going over to Teddy's solo too. Teddy should be able to really start forcing things. You can see that he's got his first lethality item, level 8. He's got Ruler down to half, who has the Yuumi also to heal as well. As we do see that Yuumi heal come on in. And Cuz is going to drop this Rift. And feed. Okay, never mind. Yikes. They're pinging Ornn TP. Alright, so Cuz made a bit of a blunder there. Okay, that said, so Kana's actually going for Ludens in the top lane, which is interesting. I don't want to see this play ever again. It's so bad. We still see T1 with a gold lead. The poke VAR should still be able to poke out and be really strong right now, but that said, a few of these plays coming in for GenG is really going to help them bridge to try and hit that level 14, where they start to get really ahead in this game. Just given the fact the ornaments are going to come on in. That said, it's still not the point that they're strong, and GenG is still waiting patiently. So, first blood, solo gold going over to Teddy. This Varus is going to have 2 items, and it's going to be really rough for GenG for the next few minutes of this game. Like, oh, they're in big trouble. You might be able to afford a second lethality item with that. Like that's how much gold he just got. Maybe not that much. Maybe that's a little much. That said, T1 still scaling. Okay, so Kana just made a pit stop to get the mana item. We see this a lot on like a 0 mid lane, even though I hate it when he's rushing Nashers. Kana's gonna get flamed for missing that. See Fager just burning all of his mana. He's gonna pace. Okay, so we actually have heal cut coming in for Varus early. They're gonna rotate him top once again. Varus is incredibly strong right now, and it looks like they rolled Ocean Drake or Cloud Drake, which is not what GenG was hoping for. Really think Cloud Drake benefits the Corki, benefits the Varus, the Silas. Whereas Ocean Drake would have really helped them try and mitigate some of this poke. They were able to get some of those. So kind of a bad roll for them. Quid is caught out, and Phase Rush Graves does a lot of damage. Quid opting not to flash there. Graves had red. That was interesting. And we have Aphelios roaming up to match the Varus again. And so this is them trying to hold tower damage, but also they can't beat this Varus or make a play on it. And this is the point of the game where like you can see the items that Varus has compared to this Aphelios, right? Like he's even down 2 levels now because of these rotations coming on through. And like Corki just rotates to get poked off this tower. That's another tower going over to T1. Now all they have to do is knock down mid, which they can, with the Varus, they should be able to do pretty easily if they just rotate Varus into the mid lane. I guess Cuz was like pulling out of range and then snuck back in. That kill going out of Faker is really good. Oh, they're actually able to go to the T1 park for this. That's cool. This Faker's kind of freaking out there. Okay, we still haven't had any fights, still farming. We do have the IE being completed by Aphelios, which is good. That said, Varus is almost on 2 lethality items, which means that everything else around him dies. And they're still trying to rotate Ruler into this Varus, because at least going into the Varus, you know that he's going to get that farm, right? And this is kind of a part of GenG where like they really focus on Ruler, getting him ahead. He is behind given the matchup. It's not like Ruler's played bad or anything. It's just the team hasn't played well around this. They weren't able to make any plays on the Varus. Then again, it's really hard to make a play on the Varus going into the Yuumi. It's like, what is Yuumi going to do, you know? And still handshaking waves. And we have Graves power clearing still. Graves is staying ahead. Black Cleaver coming in for Graves is going to be disgusting as well. Really helping amp the damage of the Varus. And, I mean, obviously himself, but... It looks like GenG, so they're splitting farm between both their carries now while Faker's playing 3 lanes. That said, I think they're trying to clear this out so they can maybe make a play for Dragon. Dragon is spawning. Maybe Ruler needs to base real quick. Or Azir needed the base. Faker's gonna base. He's got a blue buff. He probably has a finished Triforce too. Interesting to see him go Sheen last. With his new tier build. He got a package. Excellency streamer as well. Oh, nice, man.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thanks for the follow.
I have some bad news. I did not get the job at Fruit Loops.
I'm not really a streamer for him. I just cast quite a bit, but anyway. Okay, so this is the first interesting point of the game, honestly. Real quick. I just want to see scoreboard before this starts. Okay, so we have... We have 1 item. We have 1.5 items. We have 2.5 items. Versus 1 item. This is the power of lethality virus. Why it's so damn strong. Okay. So I think what happens here is GenG realizes that they can't get poked out. And so they just start it like right away. Like BDD TP's in. And T1 is posturing like they want to just play for mid prio. Because if they get mid prio, right, that gives them river prio. And if they have river prio with lethality Varus, look where they're stuck. And this is exactly where we want them stuck at if you have Varus shooting arrows in. So I think that GenG just says, all right, we're gonna all in for the Drake. Yeah, okay, so they drop Rift, they see Teddy mid, and they say, okay, if you guys are gonna play for mid prio, we're just gonna try and burn this. Which is honestly like, it's not a terrible solution from GenG. Also, Aphelios, he does have the right guns right now for a team fight. And this is where GenG wants to team fight, right? So having the Ornhorn come across the river, it's going to be their best bet at actually finding something. And Effort is actually eating a lot of poke from Ruler, which is really good. That said, Kana does the smart thing, steals the Ornhorn, and they're each going to go here. So we do have the Dragon going over to Rek'Sai. I really like that play coming in from GenG, and they should just get out. Oh my. Holy shit, that damage from Teddy is disgusting. Okay, so they get the Drake. But SKT got 2 charges off on Rift there, and they almost took down the second. So they got mid tower and almost the second one, which is honestly really good for them. Like, Cloud Drake matters going over to GenG there, because it delays T1's soul, right? We talked about how T1 needs to win the game before Ornn hits 14. And that doesn't mean that, like, when Ornn hits 14, the game's over. It just means that when Ornn hits 14, if T1 hasn't done something drastic to put themselves in position to win this game, then GenG starts to get an advantage, right? Then again, I did say that's when... Oh, my God. Dude, Teddy. Holy shit, Teddy. Oh, my God, Teddy. I did also say that, like, when 14 comes in, that's when the ornaments start coming in, which is a big deal, but I also thought that Aphelios would be closer to 2 items than he actually is. He's still 3 minutes away from that. Alright, so the good part with that objective being off the map really fast too, I mean, Baron is spawning, but it does give GenG some breathing room. Always. And it looks like Varus is going for another lethality item, not going for percentage armor piercing item, as he's still looking to try and get on these carries. We have the Triforce coming in for Faker. All right. T1 is insanely strong right now. Like, there's no way that GenG can hold a candle to T1, given where their gold's at. And so you're going to see T1 get pretty much prio across the map here and really pressure this Baron. And why they want to pressure Baron is so they get poke down with Teddy. Right? Because if you have Teddy like posturing around Baron, if he gets mid prio, and they walk in, they're going to eat those piercing arrows, which are hitting for a ton of damage right now. So really trying to land some of those. And GenG's solution is honestly mid prio, but they have to sacrifice extra members here. So you have T1 farming the side lanes, so they still get ahead. So I mean, well played by T1. And honestly, like, it's well played by GenG too. But so you can see them with, they have 5 here. They're just trying to sweep out wards. They weren't able to get that last pink, which actually sucks. That's gonna regen. And now BDD has to go catch that wave, and they actually lost that bot wave that Kana got all the way in. So once again, like, that's kind of the cost that GenG has to try and contest this Baron. And that's about 300 gold of experience, or XP, no, 300 gold worth of minions and quite a bit of XP going down just lost to that turret. So that's really good. And you can see where the gold's at. Wow, this graph actually says it all. Holy cow. Yeah. They've done such a good job of funneling gold onto the members that are important. Like, Kana doesn't matter. Kana's there to steal stuff. Alright. So, Ornn hit 13. And has his items. Now 14 is when he gets to upgrade the Infinity Edge, which is important. Like, that's a lot of gold. And we do have a stopwatch coming in here for BDD, which means, I mean, the cloud's spawning soon. And once again, this Varus is still so far ahead. See, actually, he can TP back. And Faker's able to manage some of these side waves with this package. So you can see he's just going to shove that. He can roam down so fast. Teddy's in. So, oh, they're, what? Oh. Alright, so now T1's posturing Baron. They cannot give up Baron to poke Varus. If they give up Baron to poke Varus, then the game ends. And by posturing Varus here, oh, that's beautiful. This is so beautiful. Yep. So you can see they have to face check because they didn't have any vision down, and they're just walking into these piercing arrows that Teddy has. Now T1, they kind of botched that, but they still have an Ornn ult coming on over for Sylas. And they find a Aphelios. Well played by Kana, but once again, that's going to get healed up. And GenG did a really good job of resetting this, honestly. They still have to deal with all this poke coming in, but so far they've done a decent job. And with that river prio, they actually get access to the fruit, and they should be able to possibly push down this dragon. Cuz went in way too early. Okay. Oh, they got BDD with the poke. You can see Teddy, like, this posturing from T1 is so good. Like, they're not starting the Baron, right? They don't have a tank. They're trying to get Teddy in position to land poke. And they've sacked the last 2 dragons, which isn't ideal. And once again, like, these ornaments are starting to come through. But I guess he popped phase rush, so he was okay. Oh, that was really close. And they found BDD. But still, the dragon going over, it delays soul point. All GenG wants to do is delay this game. If they delay this game, they should be okay. But if Aphelios... Okay, so we just got Hurricane. He's never going to be able to, like, use Hurricane, though. It's just for his guns. Just to apply more effects. Still, GenG, they're looking in much better shape. They might have actually stalled this one out. Because Rascal can tank everything now. Orange Resident Sleeper. Like T1 still has control. It's just harder for them. And also, like, they can't start up this Baron. Because they don't have a tank. Like, that, all their, like... Whoa. Like, if GenG go triple blue trinket, I think they'd still have this game. Production, hello? Oh, they just found BDD. Okay, yeah, he's Zonia's a lot, actually. Dude, the damage is so gross. Oh my god. All T1 has to do is just chill like this. Right? Like, Yuumi actually throws a big wrench in this now. Like, Yuumi is useless in lane. And it's like one of the reasons why GenG fell so far behind. But now, like, all this healing coming in, if they can't keep the heal cut applied, she actually does a really good job of mitigating a lot of this poke. And you can see they're already posturing for what is to be this next dragon. T1 still ahead. Like, they have levels, ornaments. No one else has an ornament that can be built. They have to wait for the obsidian cleaver coming in here from Clid. That's the next ornament that can be built. We might even have Yuumi. We've seen Yumi's go GLP a lot. She might go Ludens just so she has something, or a redemption. What the hell? Okay. We got Teddy's ult out. And honestly, GenG is in pretty good shape. Quadrake spawning. They canceled Faker's back. And he was going to TP anyway, but still gives him some more time. They just got the shield off of Teddy. They haven't eaten poke yet. And T1's in a tough spot. That was a lot of damage. You can see Kana stepping up and blocking. That's what Teddy gets his shield back. It's a smart play. Gonna take away red. They don't really care about dragons. T1's almost posturing this to like bait GenG into like having someone go to the dragon as they get Klid's flash. Oh my god, they kill Klid. And they get Ruler's flash. They get BDD. Holy cow. Okay, I'm going to go back and watch that. How the hell? That was so much damage that went over. Okay. Okay, so they kill Klid. Clear on that. How does the rest of the fight go, though? Oh, that's gross. Okay. Holy shit, Teddy, you're so fucking good. Look at that. Teddy hit that. He flashed and hit that. Okay, so Ruler flashes. BDD still dies. Life dies. And then Rascals. Okay. That's how you have to play this count. And that's like, I was saying that Ornn might be able to tank everything up, but they split up their artillery and went around Ornn, which is what you have to do. And then kind of feeds. Honestly, though, that's the right play, right? Because if they kill Ruler, that's the only way they're able to like 100% secure Baron. Now you see him just going for this Drake, because they can't contest Baron at all. Like if they try and contest Baron, like the Ornn just runs him over. Oh, Faker finished IE for that fight. Why is Azir going Zanya's? So we can go in? Oh, Cuz was... Wow. That was really well played by Cuz. This is also well played by Cuz. You can see he almost gets the Q flash here. But Ruler flashes out in time. So he was able to cleanse. Then Rascal melts. Wow. Okay, so now they're on Soul Point. This should have happened a little while ago. GenG is still scaling, but once again, they're not like, if a fight like that breaks out, T1 can still play it where GenG can't get in range. Which kind of happened there when they did blow up Rek'Sai, but if T1's able to play this correctly, like they should be able to just kite it out and be okay. As Teddy has been phenomenal this game. Some important key notes is that we do have Ornn with a stone plate, which is but it's what he's got. Obsidian Cleaver came in for Rek'Sai, and then we have a Phantom Dancer on the Aphelios, which is actually going to help him quite a bit. I can give him a Lifeline passive, which it will get heal cut, but it should help against Varus damage and also just keeping him alive. He also picked up the Vamp Scepter, which should amp the healing he already has from runes. And if they're able to get access in the river, like River, T1 with this comp, they can't allow them to get access in the river because all they want is for them to fire these arrows in the chokes. As that is disgusting damage. Oh, they got Ornn alt out for free. They picked up Bot Tower, which is some nice economy going over to the rest of T1. You kind of expect that to fall this game. It doesn't matter. Like, if T1 gets a Baron, then that turret falls anyway, right? It's just like, oh, okay, we got some bonus gold. That's cool. And they do have a big gold advantage. I mean, the items come in, like, Faker versus BDD item-wise is extreme. All right, we got Knight's Vow coming in. That's going to be dropped on the Varus, probably. Help him stay alive. Varus is starting to fall off. Part of the reasons why Varus doesn't really, like, super fall off, it's just that the effective damage he deals, it's only... He's still dealing effective damage onto Rek'Sai, Aphelios, Azir. It's just that, like, Ornn can start to tank his stuff. And he did pick up that percentage damage, but he's going to hit full build soon. So, like, that's kind of an important factor because, you know, Aphelios is not close to full build. So T1, like I said, they're looking to win this game before Rascal it's 15. They haven't done that yet. Like they have a huge gold lead, but they haven't gotten Soul and they haven't taken Baron. So the game is still like up in the air. Guardian actually let that shield stay for Teddy, which is really, really clever. God, Cuz has 3 levels on Rek'Sai. Holy cow. Quid's kind of been cannon fodder though, into this Varus. Like, I know why they picked the Yuumi now. I don't know why they picked the Yuumi early. Alright, so they face check. Stone plate. It's all fine. Oh, they actually got access to midwave here, so... Let's see if T1 punishes this. It's a field goal. You can see them just raining down. Nice hook. Alright, so they got the tank off the map. They probably can't take anything from that, though. It gives them Cloud Prio, given when Cloud spawns. I think Rascal went a little bit deep there. There's not much else to say besides that. It was a decent attempt by GenG. Once again, GenG is getting a lot stronger, right? Like, they're still way behind in gold, but... oh. Okay, so they got... Since they have Ornn off the map, they might actually be able to do Baron. Because of the threat of Teddy. You can see Teddy's not even hitting the Baron. His job is to keep them off of Baron. Yep. You can see they can't do anything, right? Teddy is just solo zoning. They're playing this so well. Holy shit. Okay, so they got Baron. I talked about how they needed to do something to win the game before they hit 14. Well, he's 15, so they gave him a little bit more time because they gave up 2 clouds. But now they have Cloud Soul spawning and they have Baron up. So this should be game. If they get Soul and they get a couple inhibitors on this Baron push, it should be game, right? Quid can't do anything this game. It's actually hilarious watching this Rek'Sai try to function. I mean, Hex Drinker keeps him alive. That's close. Like, that's close. Faker actually mistimed that missile a little bit. Yeah. Oh, wait, what? Alright, well, they denied Cloud Soul for an inhibitor. If it was any other soul, I'd say that's not great. Given the fact that it's Cloud Soul, they literally just got an inhib for free. And also, is that worth for GenG? It's like GenG gets screwed. Oh my god, that damage for Faker. Like if GenG sits here, they're done, right? You said damage on Ruler? Oh, that's really good from Kana. That was really, really well played from Kana. Yeah, if you give Pokevar's Baron, the game kind of ends. All right, they got 2 inhibs. That's game. That should be game. What is this shit? What the hell is this shit? Oh, God. All right, so last inhibitor against. The game's over. I'm just speeding it up. Going up against Corky Varus. Can you keep him off when they have Baron? Maybe. Who knows? Nice by Yuumi to get that shield. Ruler's played well this game, man. It's just... it's like the pick ban they had just kind of handcuffs him. Alright, they got his cleanse off. I think Kana is only... He took like the first Rek'Sai ult, and the rest of his ults have been Ornn. No. Alright, they got Ornn ult out. It's so easy for them, man. Yep, that's game. It looks slow because T1 doesn't have any ways to like hard engage besides stealing Ornn ult, but T1's actually played this out pretty well. Some of GenG's responses were good, but it's been a good game from T1. Teddy is full build. SKT's falling off. But still triple inhibbed. This should have probably hit 10 minutes ago. If they keep Teddy's Duskblade off, they might be able to actually engage on him. If not, they can't. Okay, they see this. They got him off. BDD. So they haven't Hibs. They aren't triple inhibs anymore. Holy shit. Okay. I still think the game's over, but they're... SKT probably should be starting the Baron. Wow, okay. This game isn't over. Fuck. Is this gonna be an Elder game? Like, if Varus has Duskblade up, how do they ever engage on him? Oh my god, Teddy fucking hit that onto Aphelios again. Okay. They get new health bars from Yumi. It's really good. They started it to get Ornn's TP. That's the entire reason they started that. Oh, they're out of position here. Really good from GenG. Oh my god, they're gonna do it on reset. Wow. Big affiliate assault. Doesn't matter. Oh my. Yep. Oh, okay. Some nerves coming in there. Whoops. Big game. Just big game. Yeah. See, ruler has to go for the hero play. Doesn't matter. All right. T1 put that out pretty well.